geometric analysis of intervertible disks. So basically my role was to take raw data that came in the form of MRI scans and convert that into like a more tangible, usable form for studies here at the U of A. So there's kind of like a two-step process to that. So the first was to build a model. We were focusing on the L4, L5 intervertible disk, which is that guy right there. So to build the model, I used the Mimics biomedical software, and then to analyze the variables that we wanted, which were volume of the disk in the nucleus, cross-sectional areas, and then centroid of the nucleus relative to the centroid of the disk. I used the Geomagic software. So what is an intervertible disk? Basically, it's exactly what it sounds. It's a disk of tissue that's found between all of the vertebrae. So it separates the vertebrae and also acts as like a ligament of sorts. So that's what provides your spine with the flexibility and mobility that it has. It's made of a ring of fibrous tissue, which surrounds the nucleus pulposus, which is like a pocket of gel-like protein-rich fluid. And it's really important because that nucleus acts as a shock absorber. So when exposed to compressive force, that pocket exerts uniform hydraulic force out and prevents any stress from developing in points in the vertebrae that could potentially damage them. So building the model in Mimics. When you pull up Mimics, this is what it kind of looks like. I've cleaned this one up a little bit with the contrast and stuff like that, but that's basically what it will look like. So the L4, L5 vertebrae is right there, so we'll just zoom in on it. It's a little bit pixelated, but basically, if you can see, these are the two vertebrae, and then the dark image in the middle is all discs. So basically you had to go through pixel by pixel and kind of decide logically where the vertebrae ends and where the disc begins. So once you go through that, you might have something that looks sort of like that. So this is in the sagittal plane. If you can imagine, the MRI has dozens of slices in the sagittal plane and then also in the coronal and axial plane. So you go through each slice in the sagittal plane first and repeat the process over and over. So this is one patient. This is kind of what it'll look like as you go through. Once you've done that all through the sagittal plane, this is the finished product, but it will fill in the coronal and axial planes above as well. So then you have to go through those ones as well because it'll probably have like holes or weird little dips or crests, which are not really logical. So you go through everything slice by slice and make sure it's all logically uniform. At which point we can finally generate our model. So boom, it looks something like that. And then going back to zooming in on our L4, L5 disk here, if you can see there's kind of like a lighter color in the middle of the disk, so that's the nucleus. So again, we repeat the process, deciding where the nucleus ends and where the rest of the disk begins, and then we can construct our model using the same procedure. Once your models are constructed, we conduct a geometric analysis. So this was done in Geomagic. So we export it from Mimics, import it into here. If some of you are probably familiar with Geomagic, so it's like a very versatile sort of software. So you can do lots of things in there. It's quite simple. You just can find your centroid in your plane of best fit and then compute volume and the rest of the variables that you want. So results. I did this process for 8 different patients. So the volume of the discs had like huge variations from patient to patient. So it ranged from as little as 5161 millimeters cubed to as high as almost 26,000 millimeters cubed. So there's a lot of variation from patient to patient. The ratios of nucleus to the whole disk ranged from around 16% to almost 41%. For cross-sectional area, the story was much the same. So it varied from as low as 1,100-ish millimeters squared to up to 2145 millimeters squared. And the ratios were as low as 23% and as high as 64%. And then the centroids. So the centroid, this was just the centroid of the nucleus in the coronal plane relative to the centroid of the entire disk. So it was as far as 1.7 millimeters back in the towards the posterior, up to 0.56 millimeters forward in the anterior. So why? I built all these wonderful models, but what's the point? So basically, I process this raw data so it can be used in current and future studies here at the U of A. So right now, I was kind of working and cooperating with a master's student who's doing a study. She's doing a parametric study on the effects of the nucleus size, position, and ratios. So she can run simulations on the spinal unit response under different stress conditions. And then in the future, it's hopeful that we'll finally build enough models of these that we can look at imbalances or irregularities in the dimensions of the discs, that we might be able to draw some sort of correlation with the symptoms that the patients were experiencing. That's it.
Any questions for Andrew?
Why did you look at that specific disc?
Yeah, so the L4, L5 disc is the lowest disc in the lumbar spine. So basically, of all the discs, it experiences the most stresses. So it's also it's usually the culprit in some form or another of lower back pain. So that's why we focused on that one.
Do you know what strength MRI you guys use for this?
I don't.
I have a question regarding you said that there is quite a variation in different samples of that. Is this natural that we have this variation in terms of volume and stuff like this, or part of it is related to the accuracy of the measurement?
Yes, there is natural variations. So for example, I didn't include it in the presentation, but our smallest disc was from a 35-year-old 5'3" woman, and our largest disc was from a 6'2" man. And so there are natural variations in that extent, but that was especially the large disc was larger than would be expected.
Okay, thank you very much. So before you leave, I would like to thank you all.